I feel like I look incredibly scary today. I don't know what it is. I just feel like I look very pale and my eyes do look quite dramatic. I don't know. I just felt like being the drama today. Anyway, hello my darlings. I hope you're all doing very well. I hope you are feeling great. I hope you are safe and well and looking after you. It's a very scary time at the moment. There's so much uncertainty with a lot of things, and I just hope you're okay. Today is another tattoo ramble video. I know, another one. Lauren, you need to calm the fuck down. I know, you don't need to tell me. Okay, I'm just on a bit of a roll at the minute. I have nothing else booked. We'll talk about that later on in the video. But I know, okay? Like, it's been a lot. Anyway, I got 2 more new tattoos very recently. I'm filming this on Tuesday the 8th. And I got tattooed, I'm just looking at my calendar, 2 seconds. I got tattooed on the 3rd of March and the 4th of March. Yes, one day after the other. The first tattoo that I got was on the 3rd of March, like I just said. And this was, again, a very spur of the moment tattoo. So what the situation was is, as you may know from my previous video, where I talked about the new tattoos I had got recently. Tom's sister, Midge, has recently got a job. Well, not recently, it's been a few weeks now. She got a job at a tattoo studio, and the owner of the tattoo studio, Matty, said to Midge a while back that, you know, he would love to tattoo Tom. And there was an opening on the Thursday the 3rd of March, and, you know, Tom was just like, all right, cool, I'll just get like a little gap filler or something, you know. So we were travelling to Wales on that day, to go to Wales to get tattooed the next day, if that makes any sense. Am I making any sense? Probably not. This was all being arranged. Tom was like, okay, yeah, I'll get tattooed and then we'll head off to Wales kind of thing. And I was like, oh, no, I want to get tattooed. Even though I've been tattooed pretty frequently already the past couple of weeks, and I probably didn't need any more. I just wanted to get tattooed, and I did get a tattoo that I wanted anyway, so it's not like I was just getting a spur at the moment tattoo and getting something that I totally just didn't want, and I was just getting tattooed for the sake of getting tattooed, if that makes sense. Not that there's anything wrong with that, you know, you do you. If you're having a bad day, good day, whatever, and you feel like just get a completely random tattoo, I'm all for it. You do you. But I'd wanted what I got, which was this on my finger. It's just a little sword. I will flag up a photo so you can see it in a bit more high detail because, you know, kind of far away. But I had liked this idea of having like a negative space sword on my finger for quite a while. I don't know, I just thought it was kind of cool, and it takes up more space than getting what I normally would call Lucky Charm tattoos, which is basically just the odd finger tattoo. I've obviously got the heart right here, then I've got like an eyeball up here, I've got a bone here, and then a bow on this one here. This leaf is obviously part of my hand tattoo. I wanted something a little bit bigger on the fingers that I had left, which is obviously this one, and then if I take that ring off, I've got this, don't mean to swear at you, but I've got this finger here that I kind of want something bigger on. I and ahed about which finger to get it on. First of all, I wanted it on this finger, and then I was like, actually no, it'd probably make more sense to have it on this finger. But then the tattoo artist that did this, who I've been tattooed by before quite recently, he did the L and the R on my thumbs. He kind of played around with the idea, and then he was like, there's probably not going to be enough room to do a design this kind of big on this finger, just because my like rose goes up onto my finger and it doesn't leave much space on the knuckle, if that makes sense. And with something like this, you want to have it as big as possible, you know? So we went backwards and forwards and we were playing around with ideas, and at first he was going to shrink the sword. That was such a mouthful. Shrink the sword and make it just a long sword, and then get it all up into my knuckle area. And then Matty, who I was just talking about a minute ago, that was tattooing Tom, came over and he was like, no, that's probably going to be a bad idea because knuckle tattoos, like in this region, don't have the reputation of holding up very well. I do have my knuckle tattooed on this finger here, and it stayed perfectly fine. It's still there. It hasn't blown out or anything like that. This hand tattoo is now How old is this tattoo? I got it in 2019. It's like nearly 3 years. Whoa, have I really had a hand tattoo for nearly 3 years? God damn, that's gone so quick. So my skin knuckles can handle it, but we went with another professional opinion, obviously, and we were just like, let's go on to this finger, which was the original finger that I thought I was going to get it on. He had to cut the stencil in half to make sure it sort of fitted my finger perfectly. I have very wonky fingers. He did not have a good time. Like, yeah, I just have the most weirdest fingers. Like, looking at a distance, maybe you wouldn't notice so much. But like when a tattoo artist is looking up close, they're obviously going to see your fingers are wonky, especially if they're trying to align a tattoo. You know, he definitely struggled, bless him, and I don't blame him, because like my finger is, you can see it just like points off into one direction. I don't know what the hell it's doing. It's not as bad as my pinky fingers though. Like, where are they going? Like when I clench my fist like this, when I'm like painting my nails or something, I don't know if you'll see this, but this little pinky finger here, it's going off over here. Like, where are you going? What's wrong with everyone else? Why don't you want to be part of the crew? He managed to get the stencil on pretty quickly though, after like lining them up and just like, you know, faffing around for a bit, bless him. And then he obviously got down to tattooing. It was spicy. Oh my goodness, it was not a fun time for me. This sort of area here, like the lower, I called it knuckle earlier, but what is this part? Like lower finger? This kind of area here wasn't bad at all. Up here though, oh my god, it was like a shark was trying to chew off my finger. It was so intense and painful. Like, it's probably one of the most painful tattoos I've had, to be honest with you, because it didn't take that long, because it's obviously very tiny. I wouldn't class it as one of the most painful tattoos I've ever had, because like my neck has always been the most painful tattoo I've ever had. But then I was sitting there for 7 hours to get that done. So it's obviously, you know, the length of time makes it worse. If I was sitting through this for 7 hours, I mean, I probably would have just, I don't know, like drowned myself or something. Like, I just would not be able to do 7 hours of that ever. So luckily fingers are quite small. Yeah, it didn't take that long. I think it took maximum like under an hour or something like that. I didn't really look at the time when Gaz started or anything. I just, you know, tried to smile through the pain. But yeah, I really love this. Like, this is everything I wanted in a sword tattoo. It fits perfectly. It just looks good in my opinion. I really do want to maybe finish my hands off this year, because I want to get another longish tattoo on here. I'm thinking maybe some vines or something, like just a few leaves like custom drawn onto my finger so it fits perfectly. And then I don't know what to do about my baby fingers. Do any of you guys have tattoos on your little fingers? Like, what the hell can I put on these little freaking things, these little maggots? Like, I don't know if I could put anything on there. Oh, actually no, this one has a part of my hand tattoo on, so we'll forget about that. But this one, I don't know what to do with it. I don't know. Tom, who got tattooed by the owner, his tattoo looks freaking sick. It looks so awesome. The way it fits in the gap on his hand is, oh, I love it so much. I'm obsessed. I'm like, wow, that is a cool tattoo. It's so well done. Yeah, like it was a good way to start a tattoo trip, because then after all of that we went on our way to Wales. I've never been to Wales before. I think it took us like 3.5 hours to get to Wales, and we had an Airbnb. It's basically someone had this huge house. I think it was like 3 floors or something. It was a big house, and then underneath it they had like a flat area that was completely closed off from their house, and we you know, rented that, or whatever you want to call it when you get an Airbnb, I don't know. Oh god, it was so gorgeous. It was huge, like really, really big. We had a huge kitchen, dining room, living area. The bedroom was massive. The bathroom was massive. The view was amazing. We could see like the sea and all of that. It was really nice. And they also had a cat, which is a bonus journey. So they had 2 cats. We only met one of them. And the one that we met was ironically named Cheeky, who was very cheeky, but oh my god, what a darling. Oh my god. I don't know whether it was a girl or a boy. I think it was a girl. I didn't, you know, look at those parts, but I'm pretty sure it was a girl. Oh, she was so adorable, so cute, obsessed. Anyway, you don't care about that, obviously. We went to Swansea, by the way, that part of Wales, in case you're part of Wales. I had a few people message me and they're like, oh my God, you're in Swansea, I'm from Swansea. So hi, people from Wales and Swansea. The people in Wales, by the way, are so lovely. There was not one rude person ever. Like, everyone was so helpful and so sweet and had such a bubbly personality. So yeah, we just hung about in Swansea for the day that we got there, and then on the Friday we were getting tattooed by a tattoo artist that I've known for quite a while, not like personally, but I've known of their work for quite a while, and that is Debbie Jones. Debbie Jones does the most stunning, crisp, saturated traditional tattoos. It's just so good, and she does it in her own sort of color palette, which is normally yellows, reds, browns and grays. And I don't know how she does it. I don't know how she can make a tattoo look so good in just like those minimal colors, but she knows how to do it. Like, oh my God, she's so talented. And I had followed her on my old Instagram account. If you didn't know, I had an older Instagram account since 2012. And then Instagram decided that I was impersonating someone. I don't know who, because I had that account, forever, since the dawn of time. And they deleted my account. I don't know. I still haven't been able to get it back. I keep trying. So I've made a new one. But on my old account, I was following Debbie. And then obviously I lost my account. So Tom come into the front room at one point. This was before Christmas, I think it was. It was sometime last year. And he was like, oh my God, look at this tattoo artist. Their work is so sick. And I was like, oh my God, I definitely had followed her before. So I followed her. Tom was like, I really want to get tattooed by this artist. And I was like, okay, well, if you're going to go all the way to Wales to get tattooed, then I want to be a part of this. I want to get tattooed too. So we'd emailed her and we booked it all for March, and, we sorted out our accommodation and what have you. And yeah, it kind of just went from there. So we got to the studio. Our appointment, what time was our appointment? 11:30. But Debbie was running a bit late, so the receptionist was like, oh, if you can go get a drink or something, then come back. It should be ready for you and stuff. And we're like, yeah, that's fine, whatever. So we walked around Swansea, the shopping area, mall thing. I don't know what it's called. It's called something. I think it's called the Quadrant, actually. Anyway, and then we returned back. And we signed the forms to say, we're all okay. We haven't got any allergies and all of that, the usual consent form for getting tattooed. And then Debbie come over and she showed us both our designs. She showed me mine first, I believe. And I straight away was just like, holy cow, that is perfection. Like, that's everything I had ever wanted. I'd asked her to fill in a very awkward gap. You can just about see the tattoo here. It's, oh God, it's so gross right now. It's already scabby, but it's because it's in a thin skinned area, and anytime I get tattooed in a thin skinned area, I scab up so quickly. Anyway, she had this very awkward gap to fill in, and I said, can I have spider web and then this spider with maybe a vampire lady face as the body? And I was like, that's probably not going to be possible. But, you do you. Let's see what happens, kind of thing. And she produced this gorgeous bit of art. And I was like, that is perfect. That's everything that I wanted and more. Tom was getting this ship seaside frame situation, which is absolutely gorgeous. I'm obsessed. I love it so much. So Debbie tattooed me first. I was laying down on one of those massage bed, tattoo bed things, and I had my arm, I can't really stretch my arm out because it feels quite tight at the minute, but yeah, my arm was kind of stretched out like that, so Debbie could easily tattoo me. So I was kind of laying down, and it was quite pleasant for most of the tattoo until my back started hurting. And it's not because I have a big bum, like thickness. I don't know, there's something wrong with the way my back lays when I lay on my back. My spine kind of just curves at the bottom quite a bit, so then it just starts to hurt if I lay on my back too long. But if I put my legs up, put my feet up so my knees are up higher, if that makes any sense, I don't know, it kind of relieves that. So after one of the breaks we had, because Debbie would do quite a lot of the tattoo, then she'd be like, right, we're going to take a break for a bit, I'm going to go outside, have a cigarette and all of that jazz, which is completely normal. A-okay. After one of those, I was like, right, I'm going to take my shoes off and bend my legs, because my back was a mess. It was so bad. I knew exactly what to expect. I knew how bad it was going to be. It was very painful. It was very spicy. It literally felt like Debbie was tattooing me with a very hot, spicy knife. It was like she was scratching at my skin and then pouring hot sauce in it, you know, even though she was just tattooing me, like the inner bit, like where the crease is here, right in the middle of the tattoo, basically. Oh my god, it was not fun at all. And even now, I still feel kind of stingy. It's not like infected or anything. It's perfectly fine. It's just the way it's healing, and what have you. But yeah, it's very gross right now. It's very scabby. It's having a moment right here. So for the cost of it, I put down a £40 deposit for, no, £30 deposit for me. And then I think I gave, oh my God, how much money did I give her? I think I might have given her 130 because I gave her a £10 tip and her hourly rate is £80. So yeah, work that one out. I can't work that out. That's just too much math for me. But I think the tattoo was around about £160, something like that, which isn't too bad, in my opinion, for such good quality work. There's one thing I will say, though, which is not something I've ever mentioned before in a video, but if I don't, it will feel kind of fake, if that makes sense. Like, I want to always be transparent and honest, because that's just who I am as a person. But I would normally say in a video, if I've never been to a studio before, which I haven't been to the studio before, I would normally be like, wow, the studio was amazing, it was so cool, I'd never been anywhere like this before. But there was something about this studio that was weird, and me and Tom have said the same thing. We've discussed it, basically said the same thing that evening, like as soon as we were both done, kind of thing, and as soon as we were kind of like leaving like the town centre. And it was like this has got nothing to do with Debbie whatsoever. She was an angel. She was so sweet. She was so lovely. She's so talented. But the studio was like quite old school. And I don't know whether it's because I've been to quite a lot of quite modern tattoo studios as of recently. Like, I think the last time I went to like a old school tattoo studio, I was like 18, 19. And it just had this old vibe to it. And the tattoo studios I've been to recently, everyone is like talking and they're all having a good laugh together. You know that like tattoo studio banter? There was none of that. It was dead silent. I have never been in a studio like that. There was a couple of other tattoo artists there that were tattooing when we got there, so of course they were, you know, doing their thing. But they kind of, when they were finished, they kind of just went, you know, and they weren't like, oh, bye everyone, have a good evening, like that kind of thing, you know, like, I don't know. It was just so bizarre and it didn't have a vibe. Maybe you'll understand what I'm saying, maybe you won't. Again, this has got nothing to do with Debbie. The whole experience getting tattooed by her was fabulous. I just felt like I had to mention that because if I didn't, I wouldn't be being honest, if that makes sense. But I highly recommend getting tattooed by Debbie, obviously. But I'm just giving the heads up. It's just, I've never been in a situation like that before where I've been like, does anyone like, is there any atmosphere in here? Like, what's going on? Like, what's happening? There's music and stuff, but I just can't put my finger on it. But all in all, I love my tattoo. No regrets whatsoever. And it's filled up this gap beautifully. I just now have to deal with every other gap I've got on this arm. There's quite a few going on in there, but that will be another issue further on down the line. So for now, I actually have no more tattoos booked. The spider was the last one that was in, you know, my calendar to get. And now I'm trying to figure out what to do with my life because I feel like I have got tattooed quite a lot in the past few weeks. So a part of me kind of wants to have a little bit of a rest, you know, let me heal the ones that I've got now, wait like a month or so, and then go from there. Another part of me is like, I'm just in the mood for tattoos. I kind of do go through this phase though of I'm kind of not fussed by getting tattooed, and then all of a sudden I get this increase of, oh my gosh, I want tattoos. I want to, you know, start doing the tattoos that I've wanted to do for years. and then it will go down again. I have quite a roller coaster tattoo journey, but I have a few ideas of tattoos that I want. Of course, I need to get my other knee tattooed. I'm still not 100% sure what I want on my knee. I'm leaning towards a wolf head now. I think that would be kind of cool, and it will complement my other knee tattoo. The artist that I want to do that is Emma Arietti, just because I love her. She's amazing. And I now have ideas for feet tattoos, and I've always been that person that hasn't really been bothered about getting my feet tattooed in any kind of way. I don't know, I'm always wearing socks. I don't know, it's not been something that I've been ever desperate to do. It's been one of those things that I've always been like, if I ever come up with an idea, I might do it. If not, you know, it'll be something that I do in 10-20 years time. But I have come up with an idea, and I'm so desperate to do it. But again, I'm like, should I just calm down a bit? But then, because I've got this idea in my mind, I want it to come into place. I want to message tattoo artists. I actually need your guys' help with this a little bit. So on my, I need to look at my left and right there. On my right foot, which is would be my colour leg, because on my right leg it's all colour tattoos, I want to get a very cute Grim Reaper. I know the artist that would be perfect for this. Her name's Ree. Her Instagram is Ree Husty. I have been the biggest fan of her work, oh my god, for years. I think I might have even mentioned her way back in like some of my first ever videos. Like, I've been obsessed with how cute her tattoos are. So I just want a really cute Grim Reaper holding a cocktail glass, but the cocktail needs to be a red colour. Now, the reason why it needs to be a red colour is on the other foot by another artist, which I don't know who yet. I want to have another very dark, horrific looking Grim Reaper with the scythe. I think that's how you say it, like the scythe. The weapon that the Grim Reaper has. And I want it in black work, or black and grey, but then dripping off of the scythe, I want, you know, in red blood, right? If you look at one of the tattoos, it just looks like a cute little Grim Reaper holding a cocktail, okay? And you're like, oh, that's kind of cute, that's innocent. But then if you look at my other foot, you'd be like, hang on a minute, is what's in that cocktail glass what we think it is? Like, is it an actual cocktail or is it blood? Do you know what I'm saying? And then I want the words spooky juice on my feet. Whichever way it would read. So it'd be right to left, wouldn't it? How do we read? No, it's left to right. So on my left foot, it'd have to say spook. No, would it? Oh my god, how would this read? Where would I have spooky and where would I have juice? I can't read back to front. 2 seconds. I've got an Amazon package here. So if that's left to right. Okay, so I flip it like that. So spooky would be on my right foot and then juice would be on my left foot. I can't believe I have to work that out. Oh my god. And spooky juice actually come from my recent trip to Edinburgh. Me and Tom went to Scotland a couple of weeks ago. And we went into the what do you call it? No, is it the caverns? What do you call that thing? Caves? No, it's not a cave. Like, Edinburgh has lots of underground tunnels, and there's a name for it. I'm losing the will to live. Hang on, I need to Google Edinburgh. Please hold. Vaults. Edinburgh vaults. There we go. Oh my goodness. But it's all this underground area, and like a lot of people, like a lot of homeless people used to live there and stuff. And it's meant to be like haunted because the people might have died there and what have you. Anyway, this was like hundreds of years ago. But we went there and I must have leaned on the wall at some point, which had loads of like moss on it or something. And we got back to our like hotel room and Tom was like, oh my God, you've got loads of stuff on your hood from the vaults. And I was like, oh no, spooky juice. And I don't know, I just like the word spooky juice. So yeah, that's my foot tattoo plan. But the reason why I needed your help is because I'm trying to figure out which artist to do the black work tattoo. There's a couple I have in mind, but if you know of any artists in the UK area that does like Grim Reapers, like dark, I don't mind what style it's in, realism, neo-traditional, I just want it to be very dark and horror, you know, because then my feet tattoos will basically explain the two sides of me, dark horror, colourful and cute. Even though they're both going to be Grim Reapers, Oh, and I want to do like a his and hers kind of situation. The colourful one will definitely be a her. I want it to have like a cute little blush and just like, oh, adorable stuff. And then the his, the dark side, is just going to be gnarly. You know, like, oh God, I love this idea so much. I'm so excited. But again, I'm just like, I just need to hold out maybe. I don't know, but now I really want to do it this year. Oh, I don't know. And as for other tattoo plans, what other tattoos do I want? Obviously, gap fillers on my arm, on my legs, that needs to be done as well. They're the kind of tattoos that happen just, you know, here and there, spur of the moment. But I think that's everything. I have rambled on for far too long. I'm sure you're sick of me at this point. But yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for being here. I would love to know your future tattoo plans and the tattoos that you have recently booked. Is there any tattoos that you're dying to get, but you're just like, oh, maybe I need to slow down, or for whatever reason you haven't got the tattoos yet? I'd love to know everything. Comment down below. And yeah, I think that's it for this video. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking now. It's been great. Yeah, until my next video. Bye.